Usar, usar can also mean to wear when you're wearing something. It's a common thing to say in Spanish. Obviously, there are other ways to say to wear in Spanish, but one way to say to wear in Spanish is usar. Okay, usar. For example, I can say, nunca me ha gustado usar corbata. Nunca me ha gustado usar corbata. What does this mean? Do you know the meaning of this? Well, the meaning of this is I have never liked wearing a tie. Okay, so we're talking specifically about accessories, like we're talking about ties, we're talking about scarves, and so on. So this is a perfect example just to know how to use usar when you want to say to wear. Okay, now let's see how this phrase or sentence works. Nunca, nunca, nunca means never. Okay. Me is a reflexive pronoun, and in this situation, it means I. Okay. When you say this whole phrase, me ha gustado, it means different things. One of the meanings is I have liked. And when you say nunca, nunca me ha gustado, that whole thing means I have never liked something. Okay. So if you want to remember this sentence, this is a very good one to say, I have never liked something in particular. Nunca me ha gustado that. I have never liked that. This comes from the verb gustar, which means to like, and a comes from the verb haber, and it's very commonly used in Spanish. And when you say me ha, it's similar to saying I have. I know that tener means to have in Spanish, but in this situation, because the verb have, you use it for other things other than to say that you have something. Okay, in this situation, it's the same thing. It's not like you have something, you have something in your hands. It's I have never liked something, nunca me ha gustado, and we're talking about something in this situation. Usar, that something is usar, which means wearing. In this situation, we're not saying usando, which would be the gerund of usar. We're not saying that because when you say me ha gustado and then you add a verb right after, you need it in the infinitive form, which means you don't conjugate the verb. So you don't need the gerund, you need the infinitive form. In this situation, that form is usar. Okay? Corbata, corbata. Corbata. You're just saying tie. Okay? La corbata, the tie or tie, that thing that men wear. So that corbata, la corbata, the tie or tie. And we don't have a, we don't need that a because you're talking about nothing specific. You're just talking about ties, any tie. So nunca me ha gustado usar una corbata. That's correct. And that is similar to saying I have never liked wearing a tie. Okay, so That is pretty good, pretty good. You can change this to anything else, of course. You can remove this and replace it with anything else. For example, nunca me ha gustado comer pastel. Okay, so you have a verb and then you have a noun. Nunca me ha gustado comer pastel. That means I have never liked eating cake or eating a cake, for example. Eating a cake, any cake, right? We're talking about any cake. You just don't like cake. You don't like eating any cake. I'm repeating myself. That's funny. But anyways, in this situation, we are talking about wearing, right? And let's focus on that. We're using the verb usar. Remember, if you want to say, usar, and you want to say to wear, just remember that you're talking, or you can use it when referring to accessories, like corbata, a tie, a hat, I don't know, a ring, anything that is like that. You're not saying about a dress. You could, some people might say it, but I'm just saying that it's very commonly said in Spanish, or it's very commonly used, the verb usar, if you want to say to wear when talking about accessories. Okay? Excellent. 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 Now, let's look at another example, because we have another good example. And this one is we're not talking about ties, hats, or any other accessory. We're talking about something different. Let's look at the next example. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. This sounds kind of harsh. What are we talking about? This sounds like a command. You're saying to someone something specific, and let's see what this means. All students must wear a uniform. Okay, so this might be, I don't know, maybe a teacher is saying this to parents, that all students must wear a uniform. Some schools, I think some schools have that rule. So when talking about that, you can also use the verb usar. Okay? Usar. Todos means all, okay? All, or everybody. Los, we don't have it in English. Alumnos, students, and this is a definite article, plural one, and also masculine. So los alumnos. That's because alumnos is a noun, it's masculine, and it's also plural. So los alumnos. You cannot say el alumnos, because that doesn't sound right. You gotta match everything. If you have plural nouns, you need plural articles. And also if you have masculine nouns, then you need a masculine definite article as well. So just keep that in mind. And the same goes, if you have any feminine nouns, so it's the same thing, feminine articles, plural feminine articles. So you need to pay attention to the noun for sure. Deben means must, okay? And this deben is specifically for plural, okay? If we're talking about one student, then you don't need the letter N, okay? But if you're talking about more than one student, then you need deben, okay? Deben, must. Usar, wear. Uniforme, uniforme. That means uniform. Okay, so we don't have a in Spanish, but that's what it means. It's similar to saying that. Todos los alumnos deben usar uniforme. All students must wear a uniform. Okay, so that is very interesting. And once again, usar here means to wear, and usar here also means to wear. In this example, we're talking about a tie, right? It could be a hat, it could be a scarf, it could be a ring, bracelets, you name it. Or it could be about uniforms. Okay, so, or a uniform. There you go. So now you know that you can use this verb if you want to say this. If you want to say to wear. Okay, excellent.